Signore e signori, buonasera, and virtually welcome to Casa Italiana, Zerilli-Marimò of New York University. Tonight's edition of Addressing Style presents a fashion icon of world level, Giovanna Battaglia. And as it is always the case for Addressing Style, the series conceived and created for Casa Italiana by Eugenia Paulicelli and Grazia D'Annunzio, I leave the pleasure and the honor to introduce tonight's guest to Grazia D'Annunzio. Grazia D'Annunzio was for many years the bureau chief of Vogue Italia here in New York City. Now she teaches fashion journalism and history of fashion journalism at the University of Milan, but she's still very much involved with the Casa, with many projects, and it's a delight to collaborate with her to make Italian fashion, Italian design, architecture, style at the center of the conversation. Before I pass the microphone to Grazia, I would like to invite you tomorrow evening, May 5th, for our weekly talk show, Tutti a Casa, in which tomorrow we will talk about topics that are related to tonight's discussion. We will talk about Made in Italy and its history and the idea of nation branding. Our guest will be Carlo Belfanti, who is a professor of economic history at the University of Brescia, who just published a book on the cultural history of Made in Italy, and our good friend of Casa Italiana, Ennio Ranaboldo, CEO of Martin Bauer America. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Giovanna Battaglia and to pass the microphone to our Grazia D'Annunzio. Buonasera.
Thank you, Stefano, and thank you all of you for being with us tonight. And I'm extremely happy to present you the guest of this Addressing Style series. And the New York Times called her a fashion heroine. And she's many things, and not necessarily in this order. She's a writer. She's a famous fashion editor. She is a street style icon. She's also a very stylish Instagram queen and a glitzy creative director. So in few words, please join me in welcoming Giovanna Battaglia Engelbert.
Oh,
ciao, Joe.
Thank you. And a friend. And your friend.
From the old times. So
yes.
Very happy to have you here tonight. How are you doing, Joe?
Thank you. Very, very good. I'm always happy to get the chance to see you as much as I can. So at least we get to do it via Zoom. You are in Milano?
I'm in Milan, and you are in?
In Stockholm, yes. And this was supposed to happen in New York, but now we are here. So I'm very happy that we're here anyway. We got to do it.
Good. I'm flying back tomorrow to New York. So
nice. Lucky you.
Yeah, very happy. So I will start to drill you, Joe. And I would like to ask you something like, sometimes I think that when I developed my, love for fashion is because I was playing a lot with Barbie dolls. And what about you? How did you become a fashion addict, and when?
I guess it's Barbie fault again, right? Like for you and for me. Yes, I did it. I was playing with my sisters. We were making fashion show even then, and then I was already into big production and big groups. Even then, I was borrowing other Barbies from my cousin to make a very big, large fashion shows. And then we were making them like in the house, taking the elevator. It was like more like an atelier. And I remember I was like, oh my God, I want those clothes so badly. And I was so happy. And then also I'm born in the very heart of fashion area of Milano, in the what's called Quadrilatero. Let's say so. As a young kid, I got exposed to this hyper fashion windows, from Versace, Milachone at the time, and all of the So that's I guess it was fashion baby, born fashion.
Yes. Joe, I mean, here you look very plain, but you are normally, very
plain.
Yes, and but let me ask you something. I don't want to tell us how many dresses you have, but I would like to tell us where you store them.
So now they were all scattered before between Milano, New York, London, other places, but now I only got them into Stockholm. So in a big in a place here, and they're all in my heart, of course.
Of course. Have you ever
they're in a storage.
Have you ever considered to do what Anna Del Russo, our common friend and a great fashionista, did a few years ago? That she auctioned all the wardrobe, all the dresses that she collected. Have you ever think of?
I thought about it. Yes, I mean I don't exclude that one day we'll do that too. But I also have a daughter, and I have a great, very stylish stepdaughter, and I would like them to have the first, picked after. Yes. So.
Yes, that's good.
I mean, I cherish what my mom gave me so much. Even what my grandmother gave me. So I would like to pass.
Yes. Yes. Do you like more dresses or accessories?
One can't live without the other. No, as Monsieur Saint Laurent used to say, no, a jewelry accessory as close best friends. No,
yes.
And I always love this from for Monsieur Saint Laurent that Yves. Yes.
So, do you have fun dressing up every day, even during the pandemic?
Well, I tried. I went into phases, no? Of course, super comfy pyjama, and then let's start the pyjama, and then they started sweatshirt, and then I was like, basta, and then, I mean, have you seen this video? Love it, couldn't wear it. So I was like, all this dress that I bought that I couldn't wear it. So one day I just wear them all at home. So completely dressed out for aperitivo with my husband or things like that. I have to do it. Sometimes I even put like high heels shoes, even nobody will see my feet, but I have to.
That's good.
We have to come back to life.
Your personal style, which I really, really like, and here we have an example, is a nice mix of ladylike allure, great sense of humor, and luxury. So we have a couple of pictures here, taking the bath.
Of course, after Valentina.
Giovanna never, unlike me, she never took the subway, never took the bus, only, cars and limos. I am a subway rider.
I am the only person who, in 10 years of living in New York, who took me to the subway was you.
Yes, I remember.
And another model. That's it. And a bus too. Remember? Like, no, take the bus. It's like, okay.
I remember.
So here is after Valentino couture show, so much fun.
This one, yeah. You pretended of taking the bath. You actually are the darling of many, many street style photographers, from the late Bill Cunningham to Tommy Tom to Scott Schulman, the sartorialist. We have these two pictures are by Scott of you in Milan. And so do you remember, being photographed when you were even, at the beginning of your career by this young and also old guards like Bill Cunningham? How did you feel?
Well, Bill was very special because Bill he never acknowledged that he was shooting. No, that's how he got the picture, and then he was always take the picture like little bit hiding, and then come and say, "I love your coat, I love your jacket. This is magnificent," and I just miss him so much. But where Scott, I can never forget, Scott is the OG, no, street style original gangster, and I remember he was like wearing this very, very sharp suit and look very, proper, because at the time it was weird if somebody was shooting photography on the street. So the fact that he was very well dressed was like, okay, I think it was a way also for him. It's like, I'm not a weirdo, I'm doing this. And then he was telling me like, oh, you can look at my picture with this website. And so then all the time I start pose if you wanted to pose or whatever. And then, of course, Tommy Ton and then Phil O also, which we had so much fun. It was a very nice fun, diverse. We say after the show, it was just a moment of like fun outside of the show. We were like, for me, it was always something just to add some fun to the job of going to the shows. But then it grew exponentially and it just get a bit wild at the end. But
you know what, your daily choice when you dress up, you know, every day is somehow dictated by the possibility of being photographed when you are, for instance, in London, maybe even in Stockholm, but when you are in London, when you are in Paris during the fashion week, when you are in Milan, when you are in New York.
Well, I put a little bit more the clothes. I remember I was putting a little bit more attention on makeup and hair because I always put the clothes and I was like, oh, I forgot to do makeup, I forgot to do hair, I look like crazy, or like put a pair of sunglasses. That's what I started to do at one point because you feel like, oh my God.
No, as a friend of mine used to say, the sunglasses gives you a sense of security.
Yeah, also like you don't like
if you don't have a very nice, good sleep, you know, putting, you know, some sunglasses on is always, you know, you look better.
Yes, but it is true. It is like it is a protector, and also like I'm not like I prefer to spend 5 more times on a look than 5 more minutes on a look than 5 more minutes on makeup. I'm very lazy on the thing. But I you know, like, I mean, the look, it depends most of the time also on the weather and the mood. You know, I want to feel flat or like high heels or like what's the weather outside. It is also very much depend on the weather. Of course, picture then becomes very important, but it wasn't really for that. I mean, you know me, I was wearing colors and these kind of things even when everybody Italian Vogue was black.
Whole dress.
Black. You were wearing something colorful.
Yes.
I was like, I was like, I like Marni. I'm sorry.
Now, let's, you know, also see you photographing, you know, shows, fashion shows, and also your work as a fashion editor. Here you have, you are, you know, with your friends. I can recognize Bianca Brandolini at one show taking pictures. And you started working with us, with Italian Condé Nast in the early 2000s. And you landed at L'Uomo Vogue. So how did it happen?
Anna Del Russo wanted to give me this opportunity, which was incredible. And she asked me, you're very serious about styling? I was 22 years old. And I was like, of course, I'm trying everything I can. It's like, do you want to do menswear? I'm like, well, like, you know, like she was this huge, she's still now, but even then it was one of the few very famous because being a stylist was not a thing. Then you remember, like even my mom was like, "What are you actually do?" They didn't understand, no? Fashion. And I was like, "But Anna, no, because I work with." I was like, "Well, and I will follow you also in Vogue Dog." I say, "I will do Vogue Dog." So whatever, anything that get me in the door of Vogue, I'll do it. And then that was a great. It gave me a good formamentis because the menswear it deserves even more discipline than. Women's wear because the finesse is even higher than women's wear. There's 2,000 different pinstripes, for instance.
Yes. And Anna Del Russo, who is a great fashion editor, was back then the editor-in-chief of L'Uomo Vogue. And you
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And I selected here some, you know, fashion stories that you did for L'Uomo. And I can, you know, go down.
Finzi Contini with Phil.
This is the Finzi Contini store.
Jason Schmidt.
Yes. And this is another lovely fashion store in the region of Puglia. And the photographer is Jason Schmidt, who's a fine art photographer. And this is another story that you did. I think that you really like styling a group of people, many people together. Yes. And is it difficult?
Extremely difficult.
On a shooting and you know, give them a certain style and a positioning them. I think it's difficult, right?
It is extremely complicated because, of course, the production is big, and then and there's also a funny part when you have very young males in groups. They tend to be a bit childish sometimes, but it was very much fun. But it is very extremely complicated in terms of the composition and all the clothes and on whatever was the credits that we have to do and anything. But I loved it because it gave me life, and it was, it was more, especially for men, it was more about telling a life story, like we have here, it's a aristocracy of Chinese, like aristocrat, like having a super chic dinner party, and then we have in the Puglia wedding or the Finzi Contini group for Phil. And Anna discovered this talent on me. She was like, you can do group, you're gonna do group. And then that was my deal also, because I could do women also, so as boys. So I've always been drawn about genderless, like boys like girls and sometimes girls like boys. And yes,
I think that the best work that you have done with us at Italian Condé Nast was at Vogue Gioiello. And Vogue Gioiello is a publication that doesn't exist anymore. And you work very close, very, very close with Franca Sozzani in reshaping the image of the magazine in the year 2000. And I'm going to show the audience some covers that you produced, that you styled, and some fashion stories. I think that what I really, really like about your job at Gioiello is the fact that you really elevated the art of photography in jewelry, because you also injected a lovely joie de vivre and an interesting touch of surrealism that was quite unknown back then and even now in the photographing jewelry. And here we have, for instance, some good examples. So what do you remember about those years at, working at Gioiello and working with, very, very precious jewelry, very high-end jewelry, and give them a different life?
Yes, we wanted to be, with Frank, I was like, we are going to be the anti-Borghese, not the bourgeois way of wearing jewelry and be stiff about it. Like you can wear jewelry, high jewelry, plastic jewelry, diamond jewelry, but you have to get life in it. Otherwise, it's just a piece of stone on your body or weight, right? And we wanted to give different contests. And of course, like for me, the joy de vivre was important. Like, have to be fun and has to be expressive and has to be dream. And we dreamed. My dream was to do, my wildest dream. Okay, I want to have a shower cup with like a sapphire and lapis lazuli, wearing a high jewelry necklace. Why not? There's actually people that do have this type of life. By the way,
the swimming pool. Yes,
in the swimming pool. And then we had all this jewelry. Of course, I always like big, large stones, and I always like colored stones, and so like spinels and ruby to Turmalina Paraiba, all these beautiful colored stones. And then we were always, again, the production here was behind the pictures that we had like tons of security, because sometimes I had one model on two models on set, and I maybe had 20 bodyguards on set. Once a dog escaped with a diamond necklace on, and it had all these other big guys.
A diamond necklace on a dog? Joe, only you. So, did you?
It was a cute dog. It was a small dog, and trust me, there are people that do that.
Did you take the picture? Were you able to take
yes.
the picture at the end? Okay, good.
With my Aldridge, you could never forget. In a small hotel, we couldn't find the dog. So we try to be very, very fun.
Yeah. Now is
the Ellen von Amber.
Yes, the picture with the
Ellen von Amber. Yes.
This picture with the shower cap, and is from Ellen von Amber. So let's briefly analyze your work that you also did for Vogue, Italian Vogue. Here we have a cover story with Monica Bellucci dressing Dolce & Gabbana. And this is the story that went with the cover story. And this is another story that you did with the same photographer, who is Paolo Roversi.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your experience, dressing, women finally at Uomo Vogue, Italian Vogue, after your stint at Uomo.
I mean, it was great. I was doing Italian Vogue, and at the same time, I was also doing other international Vogues. Like I did some Vogue China, Vogue
France.
Yes, and Vogue Paris, exactly. But it was I was playing on my field. It was like all the dreams come true. So I was very, very. It was just excited to really see then the woman through the eyes of the photographer, and to have to all the time change the lens and the way you approach each story. It depends on the photographer or the story, and to be able to be in many women's aesthetics by being one. I mean,
right.
with Paolo, it's almost a cathartic experience to work with him. Is such a is a painter, no? And with other photographers, more sharp. So that was the biggest gift.
Mm-hmm. I have another wonderful story, a cover
That's
story
fun.
that you did for Vogue, and it's wonderful for me because of the headgear of this wonderful, hat that are made, they're paper, right?
Yes. So in this case, the idea came from this company that did crazy hat pieces, and I think they also work with Chanel on creating a set. So it was all about this white paper story. So we made 60s hairstyle, and it was fun.
So Joe, tell us, how do you come up with an idea? How do you come up with an idea for a fashion story? I think that
it really depends.
You have different inspirations, but for instance, in this particular case,
it kind of started from this fun novelty that we thought it was interesting of having these wigs in paper, and then on the same time, Chanel did a all white show. So I was like, okay, the two things connect, so the paper, and so let's make a story like this. So it's not one way, that's not just for the trend, or maybe not just for something else, but it could be, usually it's the conjunction of multiple creative discipline that goes into one aesthetic, right? And so you're like, okay, there is this in the air, there is this art in the air, and then there is this other thing, like they work together, and then you see the shoot. Or maybe sometimes it could have been a location, no? Like I want to do, I don't know, something that we did for Japan. I was in British Virgin Island, and I wanted to do this kind of very tropical. And then in the shows, where it happened that many designers did a lot of tropical, so it happened like this. Then between the idea and the realization, there is blood and tears and sweat. Now I make it very short, but I know.
I know.
It's not just like, let me get an idea. When everybody was like, can I be your assistant? I'm like, come. Let's come. And we talk.
You will see.
You will see.
You will see. Because sometimes, yes, you know what, a lot of people think that, being a fashion editor is a lot of fun. It's not sometimes. It's not always a lot of fun. Being creative sometimes also takes a lot of,
yes, it's come si dice?
A lot of stories, as we say in Yiddish, a lot of problems, and shaping an image is beautiful, but it's also very difficult, and all the difficulties that you find in during the process are a lot, and we know that.
And they're always new. I was always amazed. Like, okay, now I experience all problems in the war on set, and then there's a new one coming.
Yes. A brand new one.
Brand new one. They just say, like, I was shooting in Japan, it was an earthquake. I was like, what's going on? Oh, it's just an earthquake. An earthquake?
Yes, well. Oh, talking about, speaking about...
Vogue Japan, yes. Absolutely.
The anniversary issue of the 15th anniversary issue of Vogue Japan with this cover that you styled. You worked for Vogue Japan for from 2012 to 2016. So let's say that fashion is global now. But what kind of difficulties did you find working for a magazine that belongs to a very far away country with a total different, not even language, but culture and a total different aesthetic? So how did you?
Well, first I was also lucky because I had Anna already being Italian and working with it. Anna Dello Russo was as the editor-in-chief, the fashion director. It's been very helpful because she understands already the mindset, and she kind of translated to me. But it's a culture that I learned to love deeply, and they love fashion so much, and they love they're so meticulous and they can see everything. It's really been very very interesting to work for Japan on this time. I mean, the cover before, it was my dreams of working in fashion because I could get to work with Linda, Naomi, Claudia. Yes. Stephanie, and then of course Maria Carla. I mean, all Maggie Rice, Karen, Eva. It was just like a blockbuster for me of all my wildest dream of like I want to work with all the girls I love, and Anna supported, and we made miracles. This was with Dior cover, and then the beautiful Natalia, which is Gucci cover. I think this.
Yes, a Gucci cover. And another
another group, the lineup. This was very, very fun to work with the girls, like a fashion mugshot. Yes, it was very fun. It's been a blast to work for Japan.
And this is a column that probably lots of viewers will recognize this column that you did when you work in the 2000
W magazine.
For W magazine in the 2012 up to 2017, and the name of this column was Joe Journal, and I like it very much because it actually is considered a kind of pre-Instagram diary. So tell us about the idea that you had of this column, and how did you put together every month a new theme?
Yeah, you said it right. It was a pre-Instagram diary. In fact, when Instagram blew up, I was like, it was a bit the end of it. But at the time, it was perfect because it was traveling so much from one shoot to another shoot, and then fashion parties left and right and center, and then art shows. Life was, was also pre-COVID. That's not that I'm talking about prehistoric time, but it was very much a
different time.
It's a different time, and it was a little. It was very fun, and then they just say like, what we want is your phone with your picture. I was like, okay, let's edit it, and it was like a mini magazine into the magazine. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fans then, the Just Journal fans. I remember.
And did you take the pictures with your iPhone?
Only very low-fi, only iPhone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, you did, apart from the column, you also did
editorials.
Sometimes ahead of the time, like this Bloomtown with all the flowers behind, that was heavily actually copied as an idea in many other magazines. And you also photographed the it girls, the social girls, the socialites that also are your friends, like Lauren Santo Domingo, Eugene Niarchos, and this is a picture of you and Bianca Brandolini. And
first, my friends.
Yes, your friends.
Yeah, this was done for the launch of my book, when they wanted for me to photograph my friends and fashion, which I also happen to be very beautiful and talented. So lucky.
And we have Naomi, that you dress up like $1 million lady.
Naomi.
And I actually like
She's a $1 million lady.
This couple of stories that I selected from W. There are 2 black and white stories where
just realized.
You blended. This is with Israel Etheridge, the photographer, And this story, I don't remember the name of
Rob Pruitt is another artist, Rob Pruitt, with the Chloé Sevigny interpretation.
Exactly. And I like these two stories because you really blend fashion and art. And I think that this is one of your distinctive, sign. Your aesthetic is also, apart from the sense of humor and the joie de vivre and the touch of surrealism, is also the fact that you blended several times art and fashion. Are you a fashion? Are you an art collector? Do you like art?
I've been born in an art family. I've been exposed to contemporary art since same time that I was exposed to fashion. So for me, the two things go together, and I've been surrounded by artists all my life, and I try to get art first, fashion. They just go together. So when I get the chance, I got the chance, thanks to W at the time, to work together with artists, for me it's just like magic, and because when it works, it's fantastic. So yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your many collaboration. Here, there is a picture, actually a couple of pictures of the exhibition that you organized for the 30th anniversary of Vogue Gioiello. The exhibition took place in a wonderful, very magical palazzo, 15th century palazzo in Milan. It's called Casa degli Atellani, with a beautiful garden that used to belong to Leonardo da Vinci. And the Palazzo degli Atellani is very close to Santa Maria delle Grazie, where the Cenacolo...
Because he was painting, no? The Cenacolo, it was painted by
Leonardo da Vinci, who also had, this garden in the palazzo. He never lived in the palazzo, but the traditions say that he, Ludovico il Moro gave him a piece of land, and he cultivated trees and in the garden of the Palazzo degli Atellani. So in this marvelous setting, you set up this exhibition. So tell us the idea behind this exhibition, this installation, because you created several installations in all these rooms.
Yes. So we take the house. I put each room was something happen, and it was just as the house was alive, and there was this beautiful creatures living in it, and we want high jewelry and haute couture. So in a high artistic value building, everything was like over the top, and it was white couture dresses with insane high jewelry pieces that I again was quite something to get to Milan, and it was very challenging to get the dresses, of course, but to get the high jewelry without a glass, because that was my wish. So we wanted people to really experience. Of course, it was a private exhibition. There was a private exhibition, was not open to the public, but we managed. So that was quite something.
It was very interactive. Yes. And talking about an interactive experience, Queen of the Night. In 2013, you became the creative director of Queen of the Night, a lavish interactive experience, which was a hit, a off-Broadway hit for a couple of years. And it took place in an historical club, and it's called the Horse Show nightclub, and which used to be also a speakeasy during the Prohibitionism, and is in the basement of the Paramount Hotel. And I remember, because you invited me, and I really enjoyed that, the Queen of the Night, which was a multisensorial experience where acrobatic dance, eating, drinking, music, and physical contacts, they are all mixed together. So tell us, the people that you work with, and tell us, how did you feel as the Queen of the Night, the night of the opening, the opening night?
She was the Queen of the Night. For me, it was incredible to get the chance to work as an Italian, moving to New York and try to make it in town. I was already there for a few years, but this was a bit one of a moment to be creative director of a Broadway show at the Heart, which is the heart of New York, no? And this was for me a great pleasure. I get to work with put together a lot of amazing creative talent and creatives. We had the director of one-on-one experience. We had the acrobat dancers that I had to interact with, and then we had the food designer, which is food artist, and not only food artist, which is Jennifer Rubel, which I adored to work with. I mean, we don't have a picture of the food installation that she did, but it was so fantastic. And then everybody would finish the dinner and we have to throw the dishes into these beans. It was very, 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 very energetic. And then I had the greatest pleasure of having Tom Brown designing all costumes for everyone, for the Queen of the Night, to the waiters, or to the acrobats, everyone. And so Tom did this incredible job of making these insane costumes. And here's crystallized headpiece already. Yep. And I worked together with also Daniel Rosenberry, which is now the creative director of Schiaparelli. So I guess there was a surreal. What I didn't say is that also the reason why they called me was because the Queen of the Night also inspired by the Magic Flute and to Marchesa Casati, which, Italian decadent lady.
He was one of the lover of Gabriele D'Annunzio. Yes,
exactly.
We know La Casati. We know La
Casati is a family affair.
La Casati very well.
Yes,
was a very decadent lady who actually ended up living in London in misery, but she was very famous in the early the 20s and the 30s. She used to live in Venice, especially, and she owned Palazzo Venier dei Leoni, that now is the Guggenheim Museum. Peggy Guggenheim bought the palazzo from La Casati, and she was very, very wild, and she gave parties extremely decadent in this Palazzo Venier dei Leoni. So from working in the studio to walk into the red carpet, we have a couple of pictures of you on the red carpet of the famous Met Ball. And here is the year 2013, and the exhibition that Andrew Bolton put together for the gala was dedicated on punk. And you have this lovely Dolce & Gabbana dress with a stunning hairdo with safety pins. So how did you come up with this idea?
I wanted to make it more punk, like to make okay, I'm Italian.
This is not very punk. I mean, this is a very glamorous idea.
I know, but it's like my vision was I can't change myself. It's not that all of a sudden I can be Vivian Westwood. Breathe. So for me, it's okay, how can I make a crown that look like a punk crown? And so I use the golden safety pins that we very meticulously scout for with my assistant to find very big gold safety pins. Yes.
And another picture of Joe the year after, on 2014, the exhibition was dedicated to Charles James. And Joe had a wonderful Dolce & Gabbana dress and another very elaborate hairdo.
Yes, hairdo is big for me.
Yes, I can tell. So tell a little bit of this wonderful gala that this year is going to be in September. Normally is in May, and it's called it's also known as the first Monday in May, the Met Gala. And now, due to the pandemic, is postponed. Last year was canceled, and this year is going to be postponed in September. So tell us, you went there several times. Tell us a little bit about it.
About the Met, what can I say about them? I mean, I've been, many times. I've been when I was very, very young, I didn't really understood what it was really. I went up the stairs, and they were like, "You should stop for the picture." I was like, "Oh, okay." It was good fun times. No, it's fantastic. It's really it grew exponentially in the past years, right? It's I remember at the time what I loved it was that I see women wearing jewelry, the New Yorkers, right? It was much more New Yorkers, and I love to see the New Yorkers, old school, going to the gala. I thought that was so fantastic. And
now it's much
of course,
more,
it's
much celebrity oriented.
Yes. But which is fantastic too. But I remember it was like very super fun, super fun. Yes.
And the exhibition also are always
exhibition. I always like. It's really incredible that there is an institution like this in the world, and we should do more. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, DNA is also fantastic, but the dedication and the perfection of the mat is pretty spot on.
And here we have you all dressed up in a total different way. And this picture actually went viral in the social media at the Cannes Film Festival, wearing a Steven Sprouse dress.
2011. This is like so many years ago. Now, at the end, it was a scandal to go out like that. Now it's like, it doesn't even surprise. But at that time, it was really like a scandalistic thing to do.
And you also are here always at Cannes in Giambattista Valli. And in Giambattista in Venice. So, how many days do you need to put together a special look like this for an event or a red carpet event or, a gala?
It depends, really. It really depends. Well, one of the Met, we did it like in 1 day and a half. I know it's very hard to believe, but that was like super last minute. Even Steven Sprouse was kind of like, really depends. But let's say I will feel, if I don't want to have an heart attack, I like to have the look a week before, if not 2 weeks before, so then I can start to think about the rest. Otherwise, there is always a last minute thing that it's.
But you're lucky because you can fit everything. So you can fit in everything. So you even at the last moment you can look great. And
this one took a lot of thinking. This outfit.
And I think that with this picture you really reach the pinnacle of your career as celebrities. Because you are here with Giorgio Armani in Washington, wearing one of the Armani Privé, the couture line that he has, one of his dresses. And you were going, bingo, to the White House, January 11, 2017, at the Obama Grand State, last Grand State dinners. So tell us, how did you get there and all the soiree?
I still have goosebumps when I see this image. It's crazy. It's like I can cry. So I've been invited by Michelle Obama to this state dinner. I even couldn't believe it at first. And then they were like, basically they were inviting the Italian excellencies in America, because I was resident in America for quite a few years then. And I got to bring my husband, and we're going to the White House. So I decided that I wanted to wear Giorgio. I didn't know at the time Giorgio Armani was coming, but I decided that because he's, for me, the Italian dream, Italian-American dream of fashion, iconoclast, of course, the regal. And then I thought this dress was so perfect, and they actually remade it because I couldn't fit.
Oh.
Oops. So they did a great gift beyond words, and they remade the dress for me. Yes.
And tell us about the Obamas.
Well, the Obama, I'm not a starstruck person, but I was starstruck with them because you are in line, and then while you are in line to go to meet them, I was like, it was Roberto Benigni, which is Oscar winner, with you on the left, and then you have Giorgio Armani on the right. I was like, wow, this is so insane. And then you see Obama in the room, and you're like, oh my God. And I hear the reason why we both laugh like this is because I was talking to him in Italian. I totally forgot I totally forgot to do it in English. It's like, grazie per l'invito, sono così contento. It was like, prego.
Oh, he answered in Italian, say you're welcome?
Yes, prego. And it's like, yes, you're welcome. Like, nice to meet you. Like, to be honest, I'm a little bit confused. And then I turned, I saw Michelle in this statuesque, insanely beautiful Versace dress that she looked like really like the Statue of Liberty. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, it was my friend. Oh, wow, you look great. My husband even did a mistake. He went there and he kissed her. I was like, you can't kiss, you have to shake your hand.
Okay. And anyway, talking about Oscar, what I like about you,
exactly.
Joe, was your, as I always said, your sense of humor. And here we go. You and your husband.
Not very presidential look.
Very serious businessman at this Halloween wedding party. You all dressed up like Cher, and Oscar, your husband, whose name is Oscar, all dressed up as the Oscar statue. So tell a little bit about how you come up with this.
This I came up like a year before. Like I said, it was months and months before. I came across the picture of Cher at the Oscar. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be Cher at the Oscar. I have to think that. And then when this was actually Halloween wedding party, which was insanely fantastic, I was like, okay, I'm going to be Cher and you're going to be an Oscar at the Oscar. We're going to share the Oscar. And the first outfit he rejected because it was a Lycra metallic leotard. I was like, no way I'm going to this. So then we got into the makeup, which was very, very good. We get a very good Japanese makeup artist that did this incredible job. And yes, and I pull up the outfit. Lauren actually helped me.
Is a recreation of a very famous Bob Mackie.
Yes.
He wore at the Oscar many years.
It was so much fun doing this outfit.
Yeah, well, and also this is a picture that actually went viral in the social media. Okay, your book you mentioned before, and here is the cover of Geography. Fun in the Wild World of Fashion, and it was published by Rizzoli in 2017. And I like this book because it's an intimate but yet exuberant look at your professional journey. So how did you organize the book? I mean, I have some pictures here to show.
It's a compendium of a fun approach into fashion. You know, there is recipes for how to dress up. It's tongue in cheek. It's it is cheeky. There is friends involved. There is life. There is a outfit categorized by whatever favorite colors, which then became they were not colors, which they became the Bergdorf Goodman window concept. It's really, I call it Geography, life in the wild world of fashion, just because I wanted to make it, as almost a survival guide in a fun way.
How long did it take to put together this book?
Couple of years, I believe. A year? Yeah, a little bit maybe over-ish that when we started. And then Giovanni Bianco, the art director of the book, helped me greatly. I also had the great pleasure of having a picture by Ines Bunud, which is the one on the slide up there of me like laughing so much and having a great time. Yes, it was a quite of many rounds.
And also, I remember because I was there during the Fashion Week in in September of New York Fashion Week in September of 2017. You launched the book at Bergdorf Goodman, and you decorated the windows, all the windows of Bergdorf Goodman in your personal style. And so that was a great honor for you to have not only the book launching, the book party at Bergdorf, but also the possibility of decorating the windows. How long did it take for you to get the concept and to realize them?
It was quite close, but when I went to Linda Fargo, which I call my fairy godmother of fashion, she for the book launch, I said it would be an honor for me to do a book signing there, and then you were talking maybe one window, and then I prepared these ideas that I had, which was bigger than a window. and so she said, well, let's do all the window. And I was like, wait a second, what? But deep in my heart, I kind of manifest that years ago, because for me, I always had in my wildest New Yorker dream, there was another Broadway show done, Bird of Goodman. For me, always been the temple of fashion, in a way that you grow up looking at the window. So, and the Christmas. So for me, it was a dream come true, which in a way I saw it in my past, but I couldn't dream of for reality. And Linda and the team extremely. To work with this incredible, talented human being and fun. We managed from June, July, 3 months, 4 months, which is crazy. Only Bird of Goodman. We did it. So styling, everything, and set up. The team did an insane job. And with the party, was so much fun. I mean,
the party was great. The party was really great.
So much fun. So much fun.
And actually, also the book signing the day after, that was the party.
When Manolo came. Yeah, when I saw Manolo, I was like, oh my God, Manolo, my book sign, I'm going to die.
Yeah, Manolo Blahnik. And a lot of celebrities.
Manolo Blahnik. Yes, many others. Sorry, I don't want to be rude with other great people.
Many celebrities, many fashion people lined up for the book signing.
Yes.
And now
it was my Sarah Jessica Parker moment.
Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah. And now let's move to the glittering part of this interview. And I would like to briefly recap your new adventure. In 2016, you became the creative director of Swarovski B2B. And in 2020, you were tapped as the global creative director of Swarovski, a brand new position that they created just for you. And since last February, 3 new shops have been opened. The first one, the yellow one, was the Milanese in Galleria in the heart of Milan. And then we have the shop in Paris that opened in March. And few days ago, you also unveiled the store in New York. So each of them have a very distinctive, colorful new look. And each of them represent the perfect showcase for the new collection that you have designed. So tell us about this new adventure in your professional life, first of all, and then we will talk about the pieces that you designed for our pleasure.
So as you say, I started in 2016 knowing the business-to-business part. So it was the loose components that goes into fashion and beyond. So I get to know the crystal, and then when they give me this great honor to relaunch and to reshape the new Swarovski, it's been quite of a ride also, because they started in COVID and we did it all via Zoom, just like in 1 year. So I'm very grateful to the team and everyone involved that we actually made it new packaging, new stores, new collection. And
new logo,
new swan, exactly, and beyond. It has been really, really, really incredible to be able to do this. It doesn't happen every day. Plus, Swarovski is a company that owns a material, it owns crystal, right? And so it goes back 125 years ago. So he has a lot of history, and I have a huge amount of respect for this company that is also family owned and has a lot of history.
I would like you to briefly describe, some pieces that I selected for our viewer. So the idea that because you really reshaped the brand, the image of the brand, and with this new collection, you really gave Swarovski, a magic lift in the fashion world. So
the magic was there. Huh? The magic was there. As I say, like I didn't like ginormous work, but the material is there and the beauty is there. When I did it, just let it shine. No, let it live and let it breathe. This is an example of a pair of earrings. It's about color. It's about shapes, and it's light and color. I want collection number 1 is dedicated. Also, you see in the slide. After I wanted to almost. Take the design into the minimum, really like the crystal shine, and for me it's about the cuts and the crystal, and of course the colors, and yes, really giving the crystal center stage in a very geometric approach, which we see in the one that you select after, which is a geometrical stadium, platonic solid, which goes back to the Leonardo da Vinci friends, Luca Pacioli, the study of the platonic solid. This was the geometry for me. It's related to the very core of the projectuality of crystal, no? Because it takes a lot of logic and science to then have a magic result. So logic and magic was also what ignite the Wonder Lab, which is the world of Swarovski lives, where magic and science meet. That's in a nutshell. I hope I did well. You tell me. Grazie.
This is the couple of pages of the advertising campaign that you masterminded. So tell us, who did you select, and how you conceived this, this campaign?
So front woman as Adwa, which I adore as a human and as a model.
For our viewers, is the model on the right.
Yes, we wanted to have also a young talent to represent the inner child in all of us on the and the figurine, and we call it the fun analyst, which is Isla Johnson, which was part of the Queen's Gambit. She's the younger self of the Queen's Gambit, and we have also Gwendolyn, which was incredible too. Yes.
So I think that after seeing all of it, all this wonderful jewelry, I definitely gonna go shopping when I go.
Good. and it's attainable luxury. It's not gonna bring
it's affordable luxury. And I would like also to end this conversation showing the Swarovski Wonder Lab, the space where the science and magic meet. So enjoy the video, and I will see you later on for a quick goodbye. Well, Giovanna, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Grazia.
And thank you, all of you, for being so loyal to A Dressing Style. And
thank you. Hope you enjoyed.
A wonderful luxury. Be luxurious all the time. Bye, Joe.
Bye. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Saluti.
Ciao.